biohacking, performance, mastery, mindset, holistic health. This is a show about getting better every single day. I'm on a mission, guys, to help over 1 million people get healthy and lose weight. Why? Because when you lose weight and get healthy, you have higher self-esteem. You have more self-confidence. And that person goes out and crushes their goal and starts living the highest version of themselves, and then they have way more impact on the world. What's up, guys? Happy Monday for another Mindset and Motivation Monday. You know, this week, I've been thinking a lot about just mindset overall and long-term success. And I'm actually starting to I'm in the process of writing a book that'll be released at the top of the year in January. And, you know, part of what I talk about in transformation, whether it's weight loss or just success and health, is that long-term mindset. And what I've noticed is a couple things, and there's really two big things that we talk about, especially Carol Dweck, who wrote this great book called Mindset. It's right here. I'm holding it up if you're watching on video. And it's The New Psychology of Success. This is an older book, and it's talked about a lot. But like, there's really two big mindsets that play a role in long-term growth. So if you want to be growing and successful in long-term, no matter what you do, you have to master one of these mindsets. You got to ditch the other one for long-term success. So, you know, let's look into that. Also, I just want to let everybody know, you know, the Hack Life podcast, go leave a review. For every review that is left, I am donating, you know, money and and funds to help support communities that have no water and they don't have a good structure of water. So I'm helping build that. Every podcast review, leave 5 stars. You can go to the Apple podcast and look for the Hack Life podcast. Search, leave a 5-star review, and for every review, I will be donating some funds towards these good causes. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to, incentivizing people and then also bringing some good into the world. So without further ado, let's talk about what Carol Dweck talks about. And I've noticed this in my own life too. Now, there's two big mindsets. There's the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. A fixed person mindset is someone that believes that their qualities are just carved in stone, right? You only have a certain amount of intelligence, a certain personality, a certain amount of moral character, and that's all you get. You get that, and that's all that's going to happen in life. And you're either going to get better or you're not. Like, it's like basically you're asking yourself questions like, will I succeed or will I fail? That's it. There's no in between. It's you either succeeded or you failed. Which one is it? Will I look smart or will I look dumb? Will I be accepted or will I be rejected? Right? These are all the questions that someone with a fixed mindset has. Now, someone that has a growth mindset, which is what you guys want. That's why you're tuning in. You want to have a growth mindset. You want to be better. You want to continue to evolve and transform, right? Well, it's not based on this belief that you have just these basic qualities and that only that is that's only going to determine your success. You actually believe that you can cultivate and become better through your efforts. And that's a really positive thing. You want to maintain this growth mindset for long-term success, right? And so think about some of the questions that you might be asking yourself to determine, do I have a growth mindset or do I have a fixed mindset? Number one is, you know, do you think that your intelligence is very basic about you or that you can't change very much, right? I mean, think about how many times like in school and stuff, we have like this idea about like IQ and like, this is our IQ test. And, you know, you're born with a certain level of IQ and, you know, these are the smart people, these are the jocks, these are whatever. And like, that's the highest like level you'll ever reach, right? Think about how often that comes into play. And you're like, oh yeah, I just, you know, or you think like, hey, I am smart, but my IQ is this, like I took a test, I proved it, right? And people always say like, you really can't, that you're not going to really change. You're born with a certain level of IQ, right? So you're not going to change that. Second question, you can learn new things, but you can't really change how intelligent you are, right? So ask how do you, is that kind of your self-talk? Is that something that you talk about yourself? Number 3, no matter how much intelligence you have, you can always change it quite a bit. Is that your mindset? That to me is a growth mindset. That's someone who is, you know, who is looking to be better and like, hey, knows that through positive effort and continued consistency, you're going to get better. Number 4 is you can always substantially change how intelligent you are. So think about just some of those questions, and you can actually change. I'm using the word intelligence, but you can change it to qualities. You could, as a parent, I mean, I think we face this all the time is like, can you, I have 2 young boys, and it's like, can I change and be a better dad? Like, if the belief is, well, I was raised a certain way, and like, that's how I'm going to be. Well, then of course, that's where my limitation is. That's as high as I'm going to go, right? And actually, it's really funny because they did a study with fleas showing that, these mindsets, right? We do know that they're generational. So you can have generational trauma passed to you, and you can actually have beliefs and systems and programmings that will be passed along to you, really just from your family, right? And so they talk about this flea experiment where they put fleas in a jar, and they limit how high they put a lid on the fleas, so the fleas can't jump out over the lid. And then I think after like 3 days or so, they remove the lid, and they want to see, well, will the fleas jump out? And guess what? The fleas don't, because in their mind, they're like, well, I already tried that once and it didn't work. So the highest I can go is just, to that lid. So they maintain that. The crazy thing is they also saw that the generations, the fleas that were produced, the offspring, had the same limitation. It was passed to them. So think about that. Think about how our traumas and our beliefs and how they systemically can be carried through time if we don't adopt different mindsets, which is why this growth mindset is so, so powerful, right? You look at the Michael Jordans, Michael Jordan he was not he was not born with like this amazing inherent like gift. He had to work at it. Like, you listen to like his high school, he didn't even make the team. He was cut. He had to continually work at it. And through continuous effort over and over and over again, he created this relentless mindset, and he became obviously better, and he became one of the greatest basketball players we know. But in high school, he didn't even make the team, right? So think about that. If he had this idea of a fixed mindset, this is as high as I will ever get, he would have never grown that way. The other story, the last thing I'll say is, I remember being a trainer. In the past, I worked as a trainer in my last job, and I was training other people in the company. And I remember we had this exercise, this drill, and we had them in 2 groups. And one group, by the way, both groups performed, I don't want to say terribly. They didn't, there were mistakes made by both groups. They all made the same mistakes. The drill was supposed to highlight these mistakes and bring in this awareness, so the next time when they go out in the real life, the mistakes aren't made. And so what it was interesting was, one group, everybody made the same mistakes. One group, when we gave them this feedback, this constructive, positive feedback, was, hey, like, what could you have done different? What could you have done better? That group was like, nothing. Like, we did all we could. They actually blamed the instructors. They blamed like the scenario. This is not realistic. I would never put myself in that kind of scenario in the first place based on what we had. Like, I believe I lived up to those expectations. And it was just not true. It was really interesting to see how they were deflecting and blaming, because personally they felt like they felt ashamed, which is fine, but that wasn't the point of it. It was just, the point was to get feedback and become better. And then the second group, we had the same conversation, the same dialogue. Like, what did you do well? What could you have done better? What are some of the highlights of this drill? And it was just so amazing the way this group was like, man, like, we could have done this better. And what really, this drill, I learned this and I learned that. It was so interesting. And what I walked away was learning this difference. I was like, wow, whatever reason, the majority in this group has this very fixed mindset. They're really looking at life in like, I'm just a success or a failure. And because that's their metrics, the metric is like, what did I learn today? Well, how did I grow? How did I get better? Because the metric was, I was a failure. That's scary. That feels terrible. And so they immediately were trying to like figure out ways to deflect and reject and push that away. And the other group was like, yeah, I'm okay being a failure. I'm okay learning, because life is just an experiment. And the more I experiment, the better I'm going to get. And through that experimentation, they knew they were going to evolve and get better. And that's what the whole point of it is, right? But with one group being so myopic and so focused on winning and losing, it's very difficult to see the potential for growth. They just couldn't see it. And so that is a huge difference. I wanted to share that story and just let you know, like, when you go into your life, whatever your goal is, Do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? And it's okay if right now you're at this fixed mindset. Start asking yourself questions, right? Start gaining awareness with whatever it is you're trying to change, and start saying, like, how can I learn from this? If you cheated out on your diet, right? Or you lost your temper in traffic and you're like, I was, or with your kid, right? And you were like, I'm going to be better. Like, do some self-reflection and look back and say, well, yeah, that sucked. I didn't do well, but I want to be better. And so what can I do next time to prepare? What can I do? What went well? And what could I change? And what could be better? If you continue to have this growth mindset, there's no way that over time you can't be better. We do know that the brain can rewire neurons that fire together, wire together. So the more we can cultivate those pathways, the better you're going to get. So that's all I wanted to share on this Monday's topic, Motivation and Mindset Monday. If you guys want to learn more, you want to connect with me, shoot me an email, info@JoelEvanCoaching, or reach out to me on Instagram at Joel Evan Coaching, and shoot me a DM and let's connect that way. That is a really powerful way to connect, and it's just an easy way. That's an easy way I can reach a lot of people because most people are on Instagram as of now. So yeah, shoot me a DM. I'd love to connect with you guys there, or shoot me an email if you want to get my my PDF, my top 10 mindsets to be successful in your next weight loss or just in life. Really, these mindsets are the same. The success principles are the same when it comes to weight loss, motivation, career, anything really. And that's what's so positive and really cool about that. So that's all for this Monday. Have an amazing Monday and let's go get it.